byte and bytes array objects and bytes and byte array operations. Bytes.reindex sub start and byte array.reindex sub star end like are find but raises value error when the subsequence sub is not found. The subsequence to search for may be bytes like object or an integer in the range 0 to 255. Changed in version 3.3 also accept an integer in the range 0 to 255 as the subsequence. Bytes.r partition sep bytes array.r partition separator split the sequence at last occurrence of separator and return a three tuple containing the part before the separator itself or its byte array copy, and the part after the separator if the separator is not found. Return a three tuple containing two empty bytes or byte array objects followed by a copy of the original sequence. The separator to search for may be any bytes like object. Starts with bytes dot starts with prefix start and byte array dot starts with prefix start and return true if the binary data starts with the suffix specified prefix, otherwise return false. Prefix can also be a tuple of prefixes to look for with optional starts test beginning at the position with optional end stop comparing at that position. The prefixes to search for may be any bytes like object. Bytes dot translate slash table comma slash comma delete is equal to b. Byte array dot translate table comma slash comma delete is equal to b. Return a copy of the bytes or byte array object where all bytes occurring in the optional argument delete are removed and the remaining bytes have been mapped through the given translation table, which must be a bytes object of length 256. You can use the bytes.makeTrans method to create a translation table. Set the table argument to none for translations that only detect delete characters. B. Read this short text dot translate non BAEIOU. So BRD the short SHRT space TXT. Changed in version 3.6, delete is now supported as a keyword argument. The following methods on bytes and byte array objects have default behaviors that assume the use of ASCII compatible binary formats but can still be used with arbitrary binary data by passing appropriate arguments. Note that all of the binary byte array methods in this section do not operate in place and instead produce new objects. Bytes.center width, fill byte. Byte array.center width, fill byte. Return a copy of the object centered in a sequence of length width. Padding is done using the specified fill byte. Default is an ASCII space. For bytes objects, the original sequence is returned if width is less than or equal to length. Note, the byte array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. Bytes.ljust width, fill byte. Byte array.ljust width, fill byte. Return a copy of the object left justifies in a sequence of length width. Padding is done using the specified fill byte. Default is an ASCII space. For bytes objects, the original sequence is returned if width is less than or equal to length of s. Note, the byte array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. Bytes.lstrip chars, byte array.lstrip chars. Return a copy of the sequence with specified leading bytes removed. The chars argument is a binary sequence specifying the set of byte values to be removed. The name refers to the fact that this method is usually used with ASCII characters. If omitted or none, the chars argument defaults to removing ASCII white space. The chars argument is not a prefix, rather all combinations of its values are stripped. B. Spacious.lstrip spacious. B www.example.com.lstrip B cmowz dot. So w will be removed, this will be removed, dot will be removed, and example, no, it will remain, then dot com. So only example.com will be printed because it's else strip. The binary sequence of bytes values to remove may be any bytes like object, and see remove prefix for a method that will remove a single prefix string rather than all of a set of characters. For example, b author colon space 3 dot l strip b author colon space. So author colon space th also will be removed, and only re R also will be removed. E, A, and exclamation will be printed. B Arthur colon colon space 3 dot remove prefix B Arthur will remove will return 3. Note: the bytes array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. Bytes.rjust width comma fill byte. Byte array dot rjust width comma fill byte. Return a copy of the object right justified in a sequence of length width. Padding is done using the specified fill byte. Default is an ASCII space. For bytes objects, the original sequence is returned if width is less than or equal to length of s. Note: the byte array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. Bytes.rsplit separator is equal to none and max split is equal to -1. Byte array dot r split separator is equal to none, max split is equal to -1. Split the binary sequence into subsequences of the same type using sep as the delimiter string. If max split is given, at most max splits are done, the rightmost ones. If sep is not specified or none, any subsequence consisting solely of ASCII white space is a separator. Except for splitting from the right, R split behaves like split, which is described in detail below. Bytes.rstrip chars byte array.rstrip chars return a copy of the sequence with specified trailing bytes removed. The chars argument is a binary sequence specifying the set of byte values to be removed. The name refers to the fact that this method is usually used with ASCII characters. If omitted or none, the chars argument defaults to removing ASCII white space. The chars argument is not a suffix, rather all combinations of its values are stripped. B spacious R strip spacious B Mississippi dot R strip B IPZ Mississippi. The binary sequence of byte values to remove may be any bytes like object. See remove suffix for a method that will remove a single suffix string rather than all of a set of characters. For example, B Monty space Python dot R strip B Python will only return M. B Monty space Python dot remove suffix B Python will return Monty. And note: the bytes array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. Bytes.split sep is equal to none, max split is equal to -1. Byte array dot split sep is equal to none, max split is equal to -1. Split the binary sequence into subsequences of the same type using separator as the delimiter string. If max split is given and non-negative, at most max splits are done. Thus, the list will have at most max split plus 1 elements. If max split is not specified or s is -1, then there is no limit on the number of splits. All possible splits are made. If separator is given, consecutive delimiters are not grouped together and are deemed to delimit empty subsequences. For example, B 1, uh, 2 dot split B returns 1, B 2, 1 empty byte 2. The separator argument may consist of multiple multi-byte sequence. For example, b1 less than greater than 2 less than greater than 3 dot split b less than greater than returns b1 comma b2 comma b3. Splitting an empty sequence with a specified separator returns b empty byte array b empty string depending on the type of object being built. The separator argument may be any bytes like object. For example, b123 dot split b comma b1 b2 b3 b123 dot split b comma max split is equal to 1 b1 b23 b123 dot split b comma b1 b2 b2 b empty empty byte b3 b empty byte. If separator is not specified or is none, a different splitting algorithm is applied. Runs on consecutive ASCII white space are regarded as a single separator, and the result will contain no empty string at the start or end if the sequence has leading or trailing white space. Consecutively, splitting an empty sequence or a sequence consisting solely of ASCII white space without a specified separator returns empty. For empty list, for example, b123 dot split b1 b2 b3 b123 dot split b1 b23 b123 b space 1 space 2 space 3 b1 b2 b3. Bytes.strip chars. Bytearray.strip chars. Return a copy of the sequence with specified leading and trailing bytes removed. The chars argument is a binary sequence specifying the set of byte values to be removed. The name refers to the fact this method is usually used with ASCII characters. If omitted or none, the chars argument defaults to removing ASCII white space. The chars argument is not a prefix or suffix, rather all combinations of its values are stripped. B spacious strip spacious b www.example.com strip b cmowz b example. The binary sequence of byte values to remove may be any bytes like object. The note: the byte array version of this method does not operate in place. It always produces a new object even if no changes were made. The following methods on bytes and byte array objects assume the use of ASCII compatible binary formats and should not be applied to arbitrary binary data. Note that all of the byte array methods in this section do not operate in place and instead produce a new objects. Thank you.